Welcome, everyone, to Overthinker Society. I am Sue. I am Sue Lee. I guess I'm the host of this podcast. I don't know, guys. I honestly still feel like I'm trying to get my head around this thing. And I'm already on what episode is this? Episode 36. Wait, this is episode 36 probably. Maybe when I get to 100, episode 105, 106, maybe I'll just get better. I'll be a pro podcast host by then. But still, I feel awkward as frick. Especially these solo ones. I don't know why. I mean, I called it Overthinker Society because I was like, hey, it's so easy to overthink. I always overthink. So why not just turn it into a podcast? And turns out, overthinking while I'm on camera is a completely different thing. It just seems that my overthinking tendencies just switch off completely when the camera turns on. It is amazing. I have found the cure to overthinking. It is by having a camera around me on 24/7. Honestly, if that could cure my overthinking habits, I would gladly do it. It's been a while since I've done one of these single solo episodes, so I don't know where to start. First of all, I'm in my new room. I have uploaded an episode. Actually, yeah, this is my second time recording in this new room. The last one I talked to Sarah, who is a witch. It was a fun conversation. I would have loved to talk to her about like tarot card reading and like her like moon cycle living and like her energy, her philosophies and energy and whatnot. But we all really just ended up talking about like how to not be an overthinker, how to not be a self-criticizer. We didn't really talk about witch things at all, which was fine. It was such a wholesome conversation. I really had a good time with Sarah. Today, yeah, I asked on Instagram on my story, IG stories, yeah. I asked you guys that I'm recording a podcast episode and what would you guys like me to talk about, because I don't know what to talk about. And there were a few interesting topics that I have been suggested. And I thought I would go over it today, one by one. And I'm thinking about like maybe try to add like timestamps or something for subjects, because like I feel guilty sometimes when I'm like making a title for a video and it's like, oh, I don't know, we talked about an octopus, but like I don't actually talk about an octopus until I'm like 30 minutes into the podcast actually. So it's like nobody actually knows if there was somebody who clicked for the octopus, then there is no way for them to know until they listen from beginning till end when the octopus part comes. And for me, to be honest, that's actually have been one of the most frustrating things for me when I'm like kind of clicking into these clickbaity podcast episodes where like, oh, I don't know, oh God, Nemo, Finding Nemo 5 is coming out. Toy Story 16 is coming out. What? It's like, but like I actually click on these clickbaity podcasts and they actually don't talk about it until whenever. So yeah, I might try timestamping, but damn, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to keep track of this. So I don't know, maybe or maybe not. I'll take a note of it in the middle, like during while I speak. But damn, I'm terrible at multitasking. It really doesn't help that I think I might have I might have ADHD. I actually might have ADHD, and maybe that explains why I have never been able to really kind of focus on something for more than like, I don't know, 30 minutes. Unless I'm in the flow. I don't know. I actually don't know if I have ADHD or not. The doctors are like, oh, we gotta run some tests and like surveys and shit, and there's really no way to like diagnose an ADHD, like, I don't know, with an MRI scan, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, if I do have ADHD, then I've spent my whole childhood and my teenage years growing up with an unrecognized ADHD that I'm sure would have helped my everything flow much easier with the right medication. But it's okay. It's okay. ADHD is very like kind of a very unknown, like foreign kind of concept. I think it's being more and more the public is being more and more aware of the existence of ADHD and the importance of recognizing it as early as possible in people's upbringing, and try to treat it as soon as possible, and get their children to get the right treatments. But when I was growing up, certainly I was not, like, even my dad as a psychiatrist, like, wasn't like, I mean, maybe it's because my dad was kind of a dickhead and he never really cared much about me. Or maybe it was like, even him, despite him being a psychiatrist, it's still, ADHD is still not a very like prominently known, like widely known illness in Korea, at least. And my dad's a Korean psychiatrist after all, so I don't know. I don't know what's to come. I don't know if I do have ADHD or if I don't have ADHD, but if I do have ADHD, then it could explain some things that have happened in my life. If not, maybe I was just being lazy and just procrastinating. Procrastinating. That is a very good segue, because someone asked on my Instagram story, Instagram survey, like Instagram questionnaire, Instagram hashtag ask me whatever. Somebody replied to my question, suggested a topic for me. Damn, I need to find this. Okay, so Bandori Rules asked, procrastination, eye emoji. So I guess it's not really a question, it's just a suggestion for topics, really. But I thought that was a little nice segue, maybe. Okay, yeah. Procrastination. Damn. I mean, that's another thing, like, in conjunction with what I was just talking about with ADHD, it's like, it's such a thin line, isn't it? Because everybody procrastinates every once in a while. It just depends on the degree of it. Or maybe it's just me not knowing, just being ignorant about the actual like symptoms and the detailed symptoms of ADHD. But I do know that like one of the main symptoms of living with ADHD is you have a very hard time focusing. And when you're procrastinating, then you're also having a difficult time concentrating on something for a prolonged period of time. Can you procrastinate on procrastination? Damn, that's deep. Oh, damn, that's deep. That is deep, but actually I just realized that I do actually have, sometimes I procrastinate from procrastinating. I just realized. I mean, that's just a fancier, like more philosophical, deeper way of saying that I have a hard time giving myself a good rest. Um, I have a hard time giving myself rest, to be honest. It's not a good thing. It's not like, oh, I work so hard all the time. I never lose focus. It's not that. It's just like I work myself until I burn out big time. Um, so it's very unhealthy. And I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to fix that by giving myself a set amount of time where I am almost like forcing myself not to do work, not to think about work. And the thinking part is really difficult because it's like, oh, damn, what? Like, I can't control my thoughts. So, like, I find myself not being able to sleep when I'm thinking about work, and despite it being one of my days off. So those are the hardest parts to control. The resting part, I guess, like, you know, I guess I could like put on some good anime or something. And then for an episode or two, I'll forget about it. Maybe a couple, maybe a dozen. I don't know. Depends on the anime. But after a while, it gets like, ooh, my stomach rolled. It's like, ew. But after a while, it kind of gets a little hard because that's when the guilt hits. It's like, oh, damn, I should be working. Like, there are however many people out there grinding and working their ass off. And I'm here watching Naruto episode 135, and I'm not even halfway through the whole series. So, the guilt is hard. And frankly speaking, there's really, I have found that, I mean, I still haven't like found the quote unquote cure for it, the cure for the guilt, other than to like be a little kinder to myself. You know, I mean, I guess I'm kind of like covering something that's completely opposite from procrastination, which is about resting. But I would like to say that a healthy dose of rest could actually prevent procrastination. A food for thought. It's definitely helped me. Like, first of all, yes, you have to be kinder to yourself when you're taking a break. And after a certain amount of time that guilt hits, you just have to be kinder to yourself. And I know that's easier said than done. You know, like sometimes you need that external force, your mom or your sister or your dad, definitely not my dad for me, but, or your friends, or I don't know, your cat. I mean, your cat can't really talk to you, or I don't know, Jesus. I don't know, you get some kind of inspiration from some of the verses from the Bible, or the what are some other like scriptures, like I don't know, like books, religious books, or like books, or podcasts. Maybe you need an external source to make yourself realize that you need to be kinder to yourself, and you need rest in order to function properly. But sometimes you don't have that external force. I would say the external forces, the external like inputs kind of could come in handy when you're like in the mood for it. But sometimes you're just not in the mood for like listening to other people lecture you kind of thing. Sometimes you just gotta be like, hey, fuck it. Hey, this is my life. I deserve some rest. I feel like shit right now. I don't feel like working. So I'm gonna give myself some rest and see how I feel in an hour, in 2 hours, in a day, in a week, in a month. Hopefully not a year. Hopefully not a decade. Maybe a year could work too, you know? Like you can take a year off or two. Maybe not a decade of just watching anime or whatever you do when you rest. I read this really poignant poignant. I read this really poignant Twitter the other tweet. Damn, my language. I read this really poignant tweet. I read this really poignant tweet the other day myself. Yes, indeed. I don't think I I don't think I saved it. I don't think I even liked it, but I just thought it was really poignant. I've seen it on Instagram or something. I definitely have saved it on my phone because it was so worth looking at. Damn, I need to find this. I need to read this. Oh, man, where is it? Hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to find this because people need to hear it. People gotta hear it. And oh man, I'm gonna literally be looking at this looking for this tweet for the whole of this podcast. Just give me a minute, guys. Just think about good things. Think about good things for a second while you listen. Just give me a few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So the username Cool Urban Hippie tweeted, I don't know who needs to hear this, but rest is not a reward. You don't have to earn rest. You need rest. You deserve rest. You are worthy of rest simply because you are a living being. And don't ever feel guilty for taking time to rest. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. I think the part that really resonated with me is the part where he says rest is not a reward. It's so I feel like everything is kind of fricked up in terms of the order, and it's understandably I guess that's how what the society's structured. Maybe it's because of the whole industrialism, the whole consumerism. I don't know enough isms. I'm not intelligent enough to know all the isms out there, but that's at least how I think I was brought up. Everybody else around me was brought up, where you go to school, you get a certain amount of grade, you get a certain grade, you get rewarded. My mom used to be like, hey, you finish this homework, you finish this work, you finish this semester with good grades, I'll get you this. Or I don't know, you finish this, you do this, and then you get that. You finish this homework, then you get to watch TV, then you get to go to sleep, then you get to read your favorite book. So it was always oh, you gotta do the work first. You gotta finish all the work first. And there is no way you can rest with a peace of mind until that work is finished. That's the kind of idea that we were brought up with, distilled into our minds, at least in my mind. And I'm sure with those of you who are listening, I'm sure they have the same kind of idea. And I think really the time that I truly realized that it's actually counter that. So you gotta find the balance of work and rest, and sometimes rest has to come first in order for you to work properly and functionally and efficiently. That I only learned just a year or two ago, as I started making music, as I started kind of working, I guess, for myself, so to speak. Making music and making content, making videos. Damn, I hate the word content. I don't know, if there's I gotta find myself a good synonym for content. But it's kind of I guess it really does take a lot of experimentation, what is that, learning and you live and you learn? No, you learn and you fail and learning and failing through failure and learning through, damn, I can't remember the phrase. It was just a hell of a lot of experimentation. I have gone for a whole month without working. I've gone for a whole month without resting at all. So I've been on to both extremes, and I think I am starting to kind of find my own right balance. To a point where even on days when I kind of need to work, I know that I need to give myself the rest in order to do that work properly. And I don't know if that's got anything to do with procrastination, but I would like to believe that by finding the right balance, the right mix between your work and proper rest is a way to actually prevent procrastination. I find myself when I have gotten enough rest, and that enough is probably different for every individual. It's just something that you gotta try out for yourself to find out the right amount of. But for me, when I get enough sleep, not sleep, that could include sleep, but it could include reading, it could include going out for walks, it could include for watching cat videos. That is a big part of it. But I find myself when I've gotten enough rest, I actually want to work. Whereas when I'm forcing myself to work in order to earn myself the rest, in order to earn myself whatever activity that I'm craving, to like heal myself and rejuvenate myself, then it becomes this grueling thing where you just don't enjoy the process of it at all. And then more often than not, the outcome of it actually comes out as shit. And I find myself that I need to repeat it. Actually, I have to redo it. So I don't know. For those of you who are listening, also Bandori Rules, who suggested the topic, if you're kind of struggling with procrastination, maybe it's a sign that you're working too much. That your brain's literally trying to, trying to give you little hints and signs that you're overworking yourself. Maybe if you give yourself actually the time to fully procrastinate, fully rest, fully playtime, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go all out, hell yeah. Then, after a certain while, you might actually want to go back to work. And it'll feel good to work. I've been there, so I'm sure there would be other people to whom this would apply. So that's procrastination. Another timestamp, I guess. Moving on to the next topic. This is not, I haven't got an idea for a good segue for this one, so I'm just gonna shoot the shit for this one. Next one. There are lots of suggestions, somebody asked gay. Gay, if you're gay, awesome. I hope you find it right. I hope you find your love. That's awesome. If you're not gay, I hope you find a nice person too. Yep. Okay. That was a pretty short one. Right. There was another one where I wanted to talk about. Okay. Oh. Gary asks, Charles Bukowski's art. Bukowski. The name definitely rings a bell, and I know for a fact. Damn, I need to take a timestamp. Timestamp, please. Timestamp 24:55, something like that. 24. Something like that. Damn, I'm all over the place. So, yeah, Charles Bukowski. I'm pretty sure it's Bukowski. But sorry if it's Bukowski, Mr. Bukowski. Sorry. I gotta search up the Charles Bukowski. He's a poet. I thought he was an artist. Oh, interesting. Okay, I have not heard of Charles Bukowski then. Wait, why does that name sound familiar? Am I just being really stupid right now? Oh, I think I know. Okay, so I believe he is, from what I remember, if I'm remembering him correctly, if I'm remembering the person as the person that I have heard him as, maybe it's a different person, but he is like known as this writer who has had a tragic kind of upbringing, a tragic background, tragic career all his life. And towards the end of his life, or maybe it was even after he was dead, or maybe it was when he was like very, very old, I think. That's when his work, his books, his novels, his poetries just really took off. But before that, his whole life has been like this one complete misery. That's what I kind of remember it as, I think. Okay, let me just read this. His writing was influenced by Henry Charles Bukowski, German-American poet, novelist, and short story writer. Early years. Wikipedia, hell yeah. It always used to really annoy me that I couldn't use, really, Wikipedia wasn't used as like a acknowledgeable source for like essays and shit. It's Wikipedia. What's wrong with from Wikipedia 2021? Link. Damn, okay. It's so many words. I can't read. Death and Legacy. Okay, this is way too much information for me to process right now. I haven't had dinner. I actually haven't had any food today. Maybe I'll just look into Charles Bukowski later on and just ham on rye. Okay, I thought he was like the author of Catcher of the Rye? Catcher in the Rye. I never really knew what that title meant. I don't think I even know what rye means. I don't even know how rye is pronounced. It's maybe rye instead of rye. Pretty sure it's rye, but I remember enjoying the book. Okay, but it's by J.D. Salinger, so it's not Charles Bukowski. Okay, so he was abused. Charles Bukowski was abused and bullied by boys in his own age, around like 13. He has wrote more than 40 books of poetry, prose, and novels. Okay, he has definitely like written a big number of written materials, but I'm not sure if that story of like having had a really bad upbringing and also like getting a really late kind of launch and a kind of like a break in his career. I don't know if that applies to Charles Bukowski. I gotta look into this. Sorry. Charles Bukowski. So to answer Charles' topic suggestion for Charles Bukowski's art, which I'm assuming you're asking about his written work. I have not read it. I think I don't think I've read any one of them. I do read books. Recently read. What did I read recently? I've been rereading one of my all-time favorite books, Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. And there were some parts that, it's kind of amazing what about books, like when you think you've read that book, you think you got to the bottom of it, you think you got everything you could take away from it, but like the thing about books is like, if you think about it, it's like a book is generally over like, I don't know, 200 pages long, something like that. And isn't that kind of ridiculous that I have always thought like, oh, I can remember all the information in those 200 pages of this book. Ridiculous. By the time I finished the book, I probably forgotten like 80% of the valuable information that it had contained. So yeah, I've been rereading Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. And I realized like some of the things actually wasn't as agreeable as I remembered it to be. For instance, things about like meds, and he did specifically mention that he's not like anti-meds or anything, but he said like meds didn't really work for him. He writes, and for me, like I'm more like, damn, these meds really relieve some stuff for me. I mean, the journey of finding the right dosage is a hell for sure, but when you get to the right levels, then it's really good. It's really good. I think it's done me a lot of good. So I'm reading Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. If you're kind of suffering from depression or anxiety, severe anxiety or mild anxiety, whatever, in whatever levels, I highly, highly, highly recommend. I would say this is like one of the books to read. I've read books on like stuff like cognitive therapy because I have yet to find a suitable therapist for me, and I'm starting to think now that it might be because of just a geographical thing where like I'm in Korea and most of the therapists that I can get in contact with are Koreans, and we need to obviously speak in Korean, and I have to express my feelings in Korean, which I frankly have not been too comfortable about lately. Like I find myself like I stutter a lot. I search for words for way too long of a time, which is oh God, I just choked on my own spit. Which is just, it's natural that you have to kind of search through your brain library of words and phrases. Sometimes it doesn't work at all, sure, but damn, it happens way too often now when I'm speaking Korean, and to a point where I feel stupid for not being able to like express my own concerns and feelings and emotions. So maybe it's a language thing, but back to the topic. I was trying to like, I've read books on like cognitive therapy. I've read books written by psychiatrists. I've read books by a lot of like physicians, like the professional mental health professional. But I would say by far this book, Reasons to Stay Alive, has helped me the most by far. And I think it's because this is actually a first-hand experience, not an anecdotal, well, it's an anecdotal one. Well, not a piece of advice or anything given from a mental health professional who has studied about depression or anxiety. This book was written by a person who himself have gone through suicidal thoughts, or having gone through therapy and dealing with his with this whole thing going on in his body, with his family and his girlfriend, how it has affected his life, how he has coped with it. All these like experiential anecdotes have really helped me more than any other, like, I don't know, like, cognitive therapy books where you're like, write yourself 16 things to be grateful about. Think about. Give yourself some time. How do you feel right now? And would you think that feeling is genuine? I'm like, I don't care. I want to like sometimes end my life. It doesn't matter. I don't care about like being grateful for anything. Like when that time hits. And it really is a pretty important, it feels pretty good when actually you read a book like this and just realize you're not alone. You're like, oh, hell yeah, I feel this 100%. That has helped me more than the self-help bullshit books out there that I have found, one, incredibly boring, two, just not helpful at all when you're in the rough. In the rough, is that an actual term? In the rough. When you're in the rough. In the rough is like, yeah, when you're in the rough. That's the right term. Let's see. Any updates? Gotcha. Okay, so the next topic, let's move on to a lighter topic. I'm going to make another timestamp. 37:28, 37:20. 37:28. Okay. Next, on a lighter note, Alessandro Cumans asks, update on your quest to become a bakery employee. And yes, to give you guys a little bit of a context, I recently have been looking into getting like a second job. It doesn't really even feel like I'm getting a job. It feels like I am looking for, let's see, how should I put it? A productive and lucrative too. Productive and lucrative hobby. Almost a getaway from my actual work, which is making videos, recording this, and I don't know, right? Making music and doing stuff, making stuff, being creative, thinking out, like try to squeeze out some ideas. So the reason behind it is that, like, the reason behind my decision to like get a part-time job wasn't actually out of, purely at least out of monetary reasons. It was actually to like give myself a reason to like go outside my room and be around people other than my little sister and my mom. And it actually, like, the thought of, I've been so lonely. I've been so alone for the past 2 years of making music. And of course, like, I feel so fortunate having built such an amazing community and like having started live streaming, which makes me be able to like communicate easier with people. But I still have been so socially deprived in my real life, in my physical like life right now, in my body, in this world, in this environment that I'm surrounded in the last 2 years, that it actually excited me to like work a few hours a week. Just doing stuff that doesn't require a lot of, what is it, like horsepower? Do you say like a mental horsepower? Is horsepower an actual thing? Horsepower doesn't necessarily have to come from a horse, right? Oh, it's a unit? It's a unit. Damn, I didn't know horsepower was a unit. It's like, I've got 3 horsepower on this battery. Is that a legitimate thing to say? Anyway. Yeah, so it feels actually really exciting. It really excites me, genuinely excites me. The thought about like going outside and doing some like hand work, like doing stuff with my hand, like actually doing stuff, like making stuff. Although I do have poopy hands, which I need to fix in order to work properly. But like be able to like meet customers and say hi and I don't know, maybe have a light conversation, whatever. And just do stuff that doesn't require too much energy in my brain. Just feels so nice. And also, on top of that, I get to earn a little bit of cash on the side. I mean, I do kind of need the money too. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I do need some money. I do need me some moolah. And, you know, it's still a little tough, you know, like just being an artist. It's not a very stable thing, if you know what I mean. Unless you're like I don't know. I don't know the finances of the likes of Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande or Dua Lipa or Adele or and the likes. I don't know their financial situation, but I'm assuming they probably don't have to worry about bills and, you know, if they can afford to get a visa to America and whatnot. So, yeah, I've decided to get a job at a bakery. And there's a specific reason why it has to be a bakery. And mind you, it has to be a bakery. I swear to God, I looked at every single bakery in my town for a job. I am so desperate, specifically to work at a bakery. And I don't no, I mean, I could start to figure out why now by thinking out loud, but I did work at a bakery once, many years ago, for a few months, and I've done other part-time jobs too. And there's this notorious story where I have worked at this juice bar, and I forgot to put a banana in a banana milkshake. I feel bad. I feel bad for that customer because he actually did take the milkshake without any you know, what's that word? Any suspicion, and he just hey, thanks, and he just went out with the milkshake without the bananas. It was just pure milk, basically. But yeah, I've tried working at as a waitress. I've worked different part-time jobs, and I think the reason why I'm so like obsessed about getting a job at a bakery, although it's probably not the same experience with all bakeries, is because my previous job working part-time at a bakery, that bakery specifically, was such a good experience. Like the owner was so nice. My coworkers were all a few years older than me, were like so caring. They were always like, "Sue, you gotta eat this bread." I'm like, hell yeah. They were always like literally force feeding me bread, which I wasn't complaining about. And it's not just the bread. I think I just really like the feel of a bakery. Like, I really like it. I don't even need to eat bread. Like, even I just like the vibe of the bread. I love the smell. I love the aroma of freshly baked bread, and I love like the smell of coffee that they always sometimes sell. Like, you know, on the side. I also especially love the tasks that I'm usually given to do when I'm working at a bakery specifically. It's because I quite like, I know I've said I've got like super poopy hands and I can't cook. I can't really like assemble stuff properly. But one thing I very much enjoy, and I think I can get a little better than anything else, is like wrapping stuff. I really like wrapping stuff. And it's just like in your daily life, you just don't get enough chance to wrap stuff. You know, like people, I mean, I guess maybe in America, if you're in America and you like celebrate Christmas or your birthday, people wrap gifts, but that's still like a once a year kind of thing. For me, the need to rap stuff, the need to rap shit, it's just not, once a year is just not enough. I gotta be doing it. I've had times when I would like unwrap the wrapper of an eraser and would like wrap it again just for the experience of rapping. I've gone that far for the desperation of rapping. I think there's something. I've also watched this like somehow so satisfying videos of Japanese workers like at department stores like wrapping, I don't know, a mochi box or like a book or something. Like I don't know why it's all Japanese, but maybe, I don't know, Japan is known for all these like little handcraft skills. So maybe wrapping is one of them. I don't know. But I once have been obsessed with watching these rapping videos and just watching them for hours on end. Unfortunately, I ran out of videos to watch. I ran out of rapping videos to watch. There's only too much rapping videos for me to watch available for us rapper addicts to watch. Not enough of them. So yes, I would say I'm still on the quest to become a bakery employee, but I'm there because I went on an interview today, and I got called in for an interview actually during my live stream on Twitch yesterday. Like I got a call from someone named Have a Good Time with a heart in the end, which I never would have saved anyone as on my contacts on my phone. But somehow like it was from the employer at the bakery, the owner of the bakery. And he was like, "Oh yeah, my phone just does that to anybody that I call for the first time." So yeah, I got a call from Have a Good Day Heart, who turned out to be a bakery owner, and he said, "Come in for an interview." And I went in for the interview today, and I'm starting my first shift tomorrow, this weekend. So I'm really excited. I mean, this weekend, I don't know when this episode's going to come out. Probably soonish. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm starting my new shift, and I'll keep you guys updated. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to, like, I'm probably too busy learning how to turn my poop hands into Maida's hands. I don't know. Or at least a capable hand to craft a decent enough sandwich or something. But I'll keep you guys updated. Okay. I mean, damn, I had so many topics that I wanted to cover, but we're unfortunately running out of time. It's almost been an hour. I haven't quite reached the full hour yet, as usual, but I gotta go eat dinner, man. I realized, as I said before, I've not eaten anything today. I just realized, and I gotta go eat my fats, my carbs, my proteins, my dessertsy. So thanks, guys. If you have watched or listened this far, you are amazing. You are legendary. You are amazing. Did I say you are amazing? Because you are. Thank you, guys. Take care. See you next episode. Bye.